every single day, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it.
Right.
You don't even know it. So just monitor your interactions with people and just I like to look at people's body language and look at people's eyes. I like to look people dead in the eyes when I'm talking to. I do it with everybody. Some people, when I was younger, people they never understood like me being so young, always having eye contact, and even me when I shake people's hands, I always gave strong grips. And like, why do you do that? See, I was always taught to look a man square in his eyes and make sure you shake his hand firmly so he knows that you are just as man as he is. Thank you for tuning in once again to this Where's That podcast. I am El Jefe.
I am Shelly, baby.
Thank you guys for joining us today. It's a beautiful Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. How was your weekend, Shelly?
My weekend was great. I went to go see my mommy.
Oh, that's good. It's always good when you can see your moms, you know. It's always a good
Of
thing.
course.
We love our mothers.
Yes. I wish I could see her more. You know what I'm saying? But she's not in the same state, you know, as myself. And yeah.
But eventually you'll get around to it, you know. When time gets to your hands to where you can do it, I'm sure you will. And she knows it. Yeah, she knows it. But yeah, it was a beautiful weekend. It was cold, it was raining, then the sun came out for a little bit, then it went back. But overall, it was a great weekend for me as well. You know, got a chance to spend some time with the most beautiful person, my mother. And I always spend time with her, but you know. And we talked about some things. And 2023.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking I don't know what I'm doing about 2024. Yeah, but 2024 is going to be a great year too. So, hey.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
why
is.
not?
Yes, it is. Okay. All right. Okay.
Maybe that was a sign for something. I don't know.
Maybe. I received that.
I don't know. Ooh, hey. But yeah, you know, it was a beautiful weekend. So you guys, you know, we gotta make sure that we all stay together. There's a lot of things that's going on in the world, you know. There's a lot of things that's going on that you got to be, you know, careful of. Even people that you have in your presence, your company. You just got to be, just be aware that everybody that's around you is not always good for you to be around. You know? And learn how to separate yourself from what we call negative energy. That's what the topic is about today. Is how to find out if people that's in your circle, friends, family, or just associates or affiliates have negative energy. Because there's a lot of people that do have negative energy, and sometimes some people can't separate one from the other, negative and good, because sometimes people can feed off the good energy and put a little bit of negativity in it, but you're thinking it's all positive from the good energy, but it's negative energy. So just kind of be careful how some people are nice to you, and then sometimes they got some negativity in the mix of it because you're so focused on this person's really either, you know, saying things to you of positivity, but at the same time, they got a motive. So, you know, I've had some experiences of having people with negative energy around me, and I go off of people's energy a lot of times, you know, when I'm out, you know, just doing things. I like to kind of feel where people are coming from. I don't get close to people. Like, I don't like to stand close to people because if I feel something, I kind of just fall back a little bit to kind of see where's this energy coming from. And if I don't feel right, I try not to make it known. But if I don't feel right, I kind of like get a little standoffish a little bit, and I kind of like minimize my conversation because, you know, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to cut things short. The conversation got to be cut short sometimes because you don't want to keep entertaining certain conversations. Right. So I would say, you know, be aware of these type of people because these people could be close to you every single day and you don't even know it. You don't even know it.
Right.
You don't even know it. So just monitor your interactions with people and just I like to look at people's body language and look at people's eyes. I like to look people dead in the eyes when I'm talking to them. I do that with everybody. Some people, when I was younger, people, they never understood like me being so young, always having eye contact. And even me when I shook people's hands, I always gave strong grips. And like, why do you do that? See, I was always taught to look a man square in his eyes and make sure you shake his hand firmly so he knows that you are just as man as he is. And you can read.
Well, I'm not a man, but
I should hope not.
I do believe. No, but I do believe in looking people in their
Yeah, you
eyes.
got to,
Just
man.
like they say, it's like the windows of the soul. So I like to
Yeah.
see, like, deep, like what's
Yeah.
going on, because sometimes what you see through the windows of their soul is
Mm-hmm.
not really matching what they're saying.
That's true.
So
That is
yeah, I'm
true.
an eye person too.
That's
Definitely.
true.
Mhm.
That just tells me two things. One, that you're focused on the conversation.
Right.
Two, it tells me where your energy is at.
Mhm.
Because if your eye contact is like here and here, looking off, I mean, are you wanted? Is some people after you? Why are you looking around so much instead of focusing
People just
on?
easily distracted.
Yeah, like
Right.
focus.
Right.
But as I
But
was saying,
but
it's
that
like
doesn't
it's,
necessarily mean that they have bad energy or
no,
negative
it
energy
don't.
because
It don't.
but
But what I'm
it does
saying
it
is,
does. Now I will say this, if they are looking around, that's different. But if they are, if they're giving me the side eye,
yeah,
like if
you
I
can kinda tell
approach
with that
them
too. Yeah.
and they kind of give me the side eye where I'm talking to them, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me in the side eye? Look, what's going on?
Because
You okay?
you've been either talked about. Because sometimes you gotta think about that too. Because sometimes people get that guiltiness when they may have talked about you. Like, okay, dang, I can't believe I'm seeing her after all the stuff I done told. I wonder if she found out. You just never know. People looking at you sideways.
True.
But
True.
just how some people are sometimes. Some people are set up that way. They can't look you dead in the eye because they already said some things about you or some things they may feel about you. They might be jealous of you too. Like they really don't want to be around you. So that's why they might
Yeah.
be looking at you side. Like, okay, because you say what you got to say so I can leave. It just all depends. But like I said, you can kind of tell when negative energy is around you. It's just, I can't tell you the name of the gift. It's a special gift that I was told I had.
Wait,
And,
empath?
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, but that wasn't what she told me. The lady that told me what it was, but she said, you're going to recognize it one day. She said, I can't tell you exactly when. She said, but you're going to start to see things, and things that you see are going to come true later on. She said, it's going to scare you. But she said, you have that gift. She said, you had it a long time. You just didn't pick up on it. So as a few years went by after my brother passed, I started to see things. And the things that I've seen that were bad, I didn't tell people. But when these
It's not
things,
always meant for you to.
yeah, it's not always meant to tell. That's why I had to read up on it. Sometimes you got to keep things in and just let it play out. And when it does play out, it's like, oh my God, I just either dreamed about something or you just saw the vision. And it's like,
Right.
it kind of scares you a little bit because like what's next? Like, what next am I going to see that's going to happen? So that's another thing. So I'm actually learning that side of me too. I don't want to seem like I'm a psychic, and I'm not a psychic, but it's just weird. And I'm not even going to try to explain it to anybody. It's just something that I'm just noticing, and I'm just got to just learn me on that side of the rim of this capability that was, I guess, a gift. So she said I had it. This lady here is respected by a lot of people around the world, and she knows her stuff. And it just scares me a little bit because I mean, sometimes when things happen, I just look back like, dang, I just saw this 5-6 months ago, or a year ago. I saw this, and then actually happened. And it was crazy because after my brother passed, it's like we spoke to her, and it's just anyway. But yeah, I've learned through the sources that I have to learn this thing. I'm gonna come up with my own. I'm gonna come up with my own name for it because I really don't like the names that's out there for it. So I'm gonna come up with my own name for it, and that's just something that I'll use for me. What I want to call it.
Embrace it, whatever it is. Yeah.
So now it's like when I go places, I understand because I never understood how to pick up on negative energy before my brother passed. I never knew about it. I never even knew about energy from people that people give off. I didn't even know about soul ties and all that stuff. I never knew about all that stuff. But it's always something that happens that kind of prepares you for that journey that you didn't even know was coming. And then you have to really go into detail within yourself to say, you know what? This person says this about me, but do I really have this? How can I find out? So that's when I did my research. And as you do your research, then you start testing it. That's what I was doing. I was testing it. And when I was testing it, the crazy part about it is everything felt natural. Like I could just walk by people and just feel certain things. Like they didn't have to say anything. That's the sad part about it. Sometimes they didn't have to say anything. It's just you just have this instinct that was just there. And just people like, hey, you know what? It ain't good for me to be around this person too long. It ain't good for me to even make this person a friend. It ain't good to even entertain the conversation. It's not even good to because I mean, anyway, I've learned through that experience how to pick up on energy from people. And I think I'm doing pretty good so far as staying away from people that have bad energy. And even when I'm around them, I kind of know. And sometimes, you don't always have to, how can I say it? You don't always have to be around a person to really know that they have negative energy. Sometimes it's just there. You can sense it. You can sense it. You don't have to be around it. So, but when I realized what negative energy was and being around the people that I had around me in my circle, I had to cut them off fast. Because I'm like, okay, you know what? You can kind of smell when you're like in harm's way or when something dangerous is going to happen shortly. Or someone that's just not a good person, like just around people just to talk about people. And as Shelly and I always talk about, people will talk about other people in front of you, and they'll talk about you too.
I'm a witness.
We've seen some things and been around some things. Like when I tell folks, if ever the time should come to where someone says, hey, L, such and such was saying this or in that about you, and I just wanted to tell you what they said. See, my thing, I say, if you've been in their presence to where they're talking about me, then what did you say in my defense after they said what they said? What did you say? I don't care what they said. What did you say? And if you didn't say anything, well, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want to get in the middle of it, nigga. Look, you already been in the middle of it. You've been in the middle of it because you sat there and listened to it. So when you can say, hey, you know what? Hey, listen, stop it there. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to hear it. If you got anything you want to say about L, go to L and tell them. That's how I see it. Yeah. Go to the source. I don't want to hear what you got to. Some people just because they like gossip and they just want to hear what this person did.
Right.
Some people don't have the power or the will to say, you know what, talk to them. I don't want to hear it. Because people just want to hear gossip, juicy things or whatever. Let me just see what they say. And that even after they say what they say, you're still not gonna come back and say, well, you know what, that's wrong of you to even say that, or you know what I'm saying. Folks just entertain it, then they want to take it back to you just to see what your outcome is going to be, what you're going to say. Are you going to go back to the person? Don't tell them I told you this. Listen, if you're my friend, you don't tell me not to tell somebody that you told me this because you're my friend, right?
Right.
You don't tell.
I just don't entertain it at all.
I mean,
I don't.
nobody
I mean,
wants
people
to
come back
entertain
and
it.
tell
People
me
that don't want to
things.
hear it, you know.
Right. Well, you know, you can't stop people from coming back and telling you
No.
things, you know, that someone said about you. I mean, you can,
Right.
but me personally, I mean, sometimes just out of curiosity, I might want to know. But I'm not the type of person that will just go back and be like, well, I heard you, because I don't really care.
I don't even want to know. I don't know. I don't want to know what they say.
Well, sometimes it's for my best. You know, it depends on the environment. So if it's like a workplace or something like that, then yeah. If it's somebody's trying to, you know, people try to sabotage you. You know what I mean? And so you'll have people that will come in and tell you things just, you know, just to kind of give you a heads up. So
Right.
you know, just out of, you know, that I'll take that into consideration. But when it's like petty gossip, nah, I don't have time for it. You know what I mean? I really don't. You know,
Right.
I'm the type of person where I won't necessarily say I'm antisocial, but I am anti-drama. Like I will separate myself. Like in other words, I will come into work. Let's just say it's the workplace. I'll come into work. Hey, how y'all doing? You good? You all right? And then I go over into my respective place, and that's it. You
Right.
know, I make myself friendly. I do what I'm supposed to do, you know, to the best of my ability or whatever. But other than that, I don't really entertain all of that negativity because in most cases I'm already tired. You know, physically that is, you know, and then sometimes when you allow yourself to entertain that type of negativity, it drains you even further. You know, now you're not just physically tired or exhausted, you're mentally exhausted, you're emotionally exhausted. And, you know, I just don't have time for it. So I just let people talk. I mean, because they're going to do it anyway. You know, we already discussed that. People are going to talk anyway. But I just
Regardless.
noticed that people who are negative tend to complain a lot. And like you said, they just gossip, you know, and they thrive off of that. They thrive off of negativity. You know, you try to come in and infuse something positive. It's like, okay, yay. But then when it's like little gossip stuff, like little negative stuff, it's like, oh, the tea, like they say, it's the tea. Everybody wants to
Right.
know the
The
tea.
gossip, the tea. Yeah.
Right. The negativity is what I call it. But anyway, it's like, really, be more productive. Do something with your life. You know what I mean? Because while you're off, you know, hovering around and, you know, talking about this person or that person, you know, the person that's not engaging is making moves.
Right.
And it is what it is. But I mean, me personally, I mean, I know people who worry a lot tend to be quite negative. Like you can come in and say something positive. You can say, you know, well, you know, it's a beautiful day. And they'll say, yeah, it's a beautiful day, but you gotta watch out for that
Well,
butt.
they might say, yeah, it's a beautiful day for you.
You're right. Yeah, you know.
Beautiful day for me.
Or, you know, a person, you know, you might say something, you know, great about what you're trying to do, a project that you're working on. And then let's say that project, you know, becomes successful. And then they
Right.
come back and say, well, I heard about your little project. Lil. You see that word there? It's the
course.
but and the lil. Oh, I heard about your little business, you know, that
Congratulations. I'm
sort
about to
of
say,
thing.
congratulations on your new little business, your new little car you got.
Right.
I heard you got a little raise.
You're right. Oh, I see it when you got your little promotion and stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, and then another thing is too, when people tend to argue all the time, you know, it's like, you can never really seem to get on the same level, you know. It's always contention, you know. And even when it comes to, like, say for instance, you may be trying to give someone some positive feedback, but they don't see it that way. They see it as criticism.
Right.
And you're really trying to help them, but you know, they get easily offended. That to me, you know, kind of represents someone who's just always negative, especially if they feel like you're coming at them in a way where you're really trying to help them, but they see it as, well, who do you think you are?
Right.
You know, like they have a problem with authority or a problem with someone knowing more than they do, or whatever case, you know. And then you mentioned something about the body language, you know, like if you're talking to someone and they have their arms folded, you know, in front of their chest or something like that, or they're just looking away, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
you don't want to talk. You okay? You don't want to be open. And it's almost like I won't say that that person is hiding something, but you give that impression that you are.
Something is not right.
You know what I mean?
Something kinda
Right.
weird with 'em.
Right. And I know here, where I live, there's a lot of road rage. So
We got 'em
people
here
are
too,
driving.
believe me.
Yeah, people driving in traffic and stuff like that. You're like, okay, you know, they want to shoot you the bird, and you know, they're cussing. You can see that they're, you know, mouthing something negative, you know.
Right.
And that usually just means that they're very impatient, you know, and easily agitated. But that's, you know, I will say this too now. I can't say that, you know, everyone has a pet, you know, dog or anything like that, or, you know, maybe even babies around them. But I can truly say that babies, children, you know, animals, they'll let you know there's some bad vibes around there. You might not even be able to see it. So it might not even be like a physical person there, but it might be something in the atmosphere that's you know. And then, you know, people who find fault in every single thing. It's, you know, it's always something.
I don't like those kind of people around me. That's always faulting and complaining and just not ever satisfied or happy about things. It's like they blame everybody for their downfalls and their mistakes, their screw ups. Those are the people that's going to hold you guys back. They're going to hold you guys back, and you got to.
Yeah, because they're going to try to bring you into that mess. You know what I'm saying? It's like they say, misery loves company.
It does.
You know, it's like, and I'll be honest, you know, I'm not always positive. You know, I try to be.
Right.
You know,
we have those moments. We're not perfect.
Yeah, right. But I try to be. But then at the same token, if I know I'm feeling some type of way, right, I am not going to break my neck to go and try to, you know, be, you know, involved, you know, in a conversation with someone or whatever. You know, I am going to, at that moment, I'm going to distance myself.
Right.
Because I don't want whatever I'm feeling to project, you know, into that conversation. Now, if they come to me and they have, you know, a question or a concern, then that's different. I can kind of turn it off for that moment.
Right.
But, you know, if I know I'm feeling some type of way, I'm not going to come into your space and try to make you feel, you know, what I'm feeling at the moment. I'm going to go, you know, because we can't always separate ourselves from, you know, the world, you know, because we have to work with people. We have to go out in the public, you know, from time to time. You know, we have to be, you know, involved with our families, you know, and that sort of thing. So, you know, we have to be mindful that sometimes that negative energy is not always the other person. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to point the finger at someone else, but sometimes it's us, you know, and we have to be aware that, okay, it's me this time. So let me just, you know, let me distance myself. Let me separate myself right now. And, you know, and just, you know, if they come to you, just say, okay, you know what, woosah, you know, let me just see what they have to say and just try to be positive. You know, we don't always have to separate ourselves from negative people. We don't always have to do that. Oftentimes, if we allow ourselves to remain positive, they'll separate themselves from us because they can't stand it.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't stand all that positivity. They rather just be in their own negative mindset, and that's it. But like I said, when it comes to me, I just try to stay as positive as I possibly can.
Right.
But for the most part, I just kind of stay to myself. I'm like you. I pick up on things. I don't always talk about it. I don't always share it with the person. That's what it. But I pick up on things as well. Some people may call it me being an empath or whatever. Just would say other things, But it's okay. I take heed to it, and I respond accordingly. And that is either I meet it with positive, interaction, or I'll separate myself from the individual,
Right.
or I'll just, kind of keep it short to the point.
Right.
And that's it, But I just know that, there are times when if I'm around someone, and it's been the case, like I'm doing better with following my intuition, and not coming from a judgmental place, but just like if something says, okay, this person might be this, instead of me saying, nah, no, I'm just gonna be like, well, let me see, let me
Let me
see.
get a second guess it.
Right. Let me see, because,
Figure it
I
out.
know that is what we have to understand. That is for our protection. Whatever we feel around someone, let's say, for instance, if you feel anxious, like your anxiety starts to kick in. You're like, well, I was fine before, I came around this person here. I was great. I was calm. I was relaxed. I was happy. And then all of a sudden it's like, why do I feel this? It's like this tension, and it's not like the tension between you and that person. It's just tension within yourself. So
Right.
sometimes that can be an indication that you're around some negative energy or a negative person. And I know that that's been the case for me. I was just like, I just feel just like uncomfortable. Like I can't explain it. And then, come to find out, this person, when I step back, this person was always complaining about work or other people, or, woe is me, life is, just unfair and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, okay, that's what it is. Okay. Like, I don't really need to hear that.
Right.
If I'm providing you with a solution and you're choosing to remain in that, negative mindset, then I have to separate myself from that, because I've already tried to provide you with a solution. If you choose not to accept it, that's on you. Okay. But I've done my part. That's how I look at it. I've done my part to try to provide you with something, positive, or something, to help you through that. But if you choose to just remain in that, oh, woe is me, state, then okay, I can't, because I can't afford to allow someone else to control my emotions, or my mood, or that sort of thing. So, but yeah, that's been the case. So I pick up on things too, and I'm just, learning more and more to kind of pay more attention to it, and just be more protective of me. So that
Right.
may require
That's
me being, somewhat distant, from a lot of people. Even when I go into large crowds, I've always been like this. Even when I was a little girl and growing up, one of my best friends, she could tell you I was like that. I can just, if I'm in a room with a group of people, I'm like somebody around here just, you may not have been able to pinpoint exactly who it was, but you felt something,
Right.
when you walked up in the room. And so I might say, all right, well, I'll see you later. Meaning, like, I'll go off by myself. You can hang out with the group if you want to. These people that I don't really know, but that's just how I was. And like I said, it didn't mean like I was better than anyone else. It's just that, sometimes when you're around people like that, you, like I said, groups of people, you may not know exactly where it's coming from, but you all of a sudden you just feel like your energy is drained.
Right.
You just feel tired. you know, and you're like, okay, yeah, can't do it. But that's just me. That's my experience, you know. So, yeah.
Those are, like I said, those are some things, to look up for. We both had, we shared our experiences with you guys, and, it was just be aware. Be aware of the folks around you, and just pay attention to people that complains a lot. Pay attention to people that are always faulting other people for their mistakes in life. Pay attention to those people that you tell no one time and they just flip out like you did the whole bomb threat or whatever on them. Like, the people are weird. People act like you just, nobody want to see other people do good these days. Like, it's crazy. Like, you're a threat. Competition. Like, it's just, understand that this what comes with the territory. It comes with trying to build success. It comes with trying to be a better you. You're going to have people, just all different types of folks, just people close to you, family members, just everybody. Just watch out for them. Watch how you even give information about things that you're doing, and even people that you're thinking you're helping. Sometimes you could be helping a person that's against you.
Oh, definitely. And we've all done that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Be
saying?
careful.
But it's like sometimes you have to put your feelings aside to say, okay, I want to do this for the greater good. You know what I mean? So regardless of how that person may feel about you, you don't pay that any mind. You know what I mean? Because that's their business. However they feel about you is their business. But
True.
you still do what you need to do to try to, because I think what people have to understand is that when you look out for other people, whether they see it as you looking out for them or not, but if you know your intentions are good, okay, and you're looking out for that person, chances are, even if you know that they don't really care for you, they talk about you, they don't like you or whatever, you're going to receive favor in the outcome.
Exactly. Right.
I mean, they may still benefit from you helping them, which is, that's the point of it all, of you helping someone, right? But because you put your feelings aside to help that person, knowing how they really feel about you, underneath the kikis and the smiles and the pats on the back, the little, which is really a knife, that's really coming close to you, but it's okay.
Hidden
You do
knife.
what you
won't
need
be
to
able
do
see.
to
You
try to
can't see
help
behind
people.
you. Yeah.
Right, but you do what you need to do to try to help that person, and I promise you, you will be the first to be elevated in many cases.
Big facts. Big
And it may
facts.
not necessarily be within that realm or whatever, but it could be in some other area of your life. So just always try to be helpful, regardless.
This is true. Now that we shared our opinions, experiences, and teaching you guys how to be aware and look out for these things, hope you guys take heed to it.
Yeah, pay
Don't go
attention
through
to how
life.
you feel around people. I'm
Yeah,
trying to tell you.
Don't go
pay
through life
attention.
accepting things people do or how people, treat you. Negative energy, think about it. Look it up. I encourage you guys to look at what negative energy is coming from people. What does it mean? And once you get a full understanding of it, you will see, and you probably thinking back to your past. It don't have to be a relationship. It could just be any situation that might have happened back then. You might be like, oh, that was a negative energy situation that I was in then. So yeah, be careful. Be very careful who you even give information to about you, things you're doing. Like, you don't want to tell everybody everything you got going on in your life either, because some people can make sure certain things don't happen.
Yeah.
So
That's
everybody,
what they say, make silent moves.
move in silence.
And what people feel like they need to do for them, that's best for them.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it, because guess what? I'm going to do what's best for me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, stepping on someone else's neck in order for me to get into the position that I would like to be in.
Right.
And that's where I think people go wrong when they feel like they have to step on somebody else's neck or whatever, and then realize that, hey, I still haven't gotten the promotion that I want. I still haven't gotten the raise that I want. I still haven't gotten to, whatever area in my life that I want to succeed in. Why? Because you're a negative person in many cases.
Right.
But like I said, just whenever you feel like you need to move, do so silently.
Yep.
You don't have to tell everybody what's going on. I'm not.
Don't say nothing.
I'm
Tell
not.
your business.
I want the best for everyone because I feel like if everyone is happy, you don't have these problems.
That's never gonna happen, though. Everybody's never gonna be happy, but it's okay.
You
got to find your own happiness and find your own niche to things that you
Yeah.
enjoy doing that's gonna make you happy.
Right. Definitely.
So thank y'all for tuning into this Where's That podcast. I'm LFA.
And I'm Shelly Baby.
Peace.
Peace.